Hello guys, today welcome to my Blu-ray collection video. I'm only going to be covering the classic series Blu-rays today, as I will do a full video of all the DVDs and Blu-rays, mainly of the new series, at a later point. I wasn't going to upload this so soon, but the video I had planned is taking a little longer than expected, so I thought I'd just post something to give myself the illusion of a somewhat respectable upload schedule. But anyway, so if you saw my CD video, I will be covering all of them, well, all of what I have, and just describe my thoughts, and hopefully this will give you an idea of me as a Doctor Who fan, my reasoning, and as you will see in a number of positions, the hypocrisy that I do hold as a collector. So anyway, The Power of the Daleks Special Edition. This was, annoyingly, this didn't get a steelbook. I would have got the steelbook as opposed to this standard edition case. The cardboard sleeve is elsewhere, but I don't know why they didn't get a steelbook, because this was 4 releases into the BBC America range. The Macra Terror, this one and the next release that I'm going to pull out, obviously, is the Faceless Ones. I got these because they were cheap. I already owned the steelbooks, as you can probably see, but I thought I'd get them just to have a nice bit of shelf filler. Then we have Spearhead from Space. And Shada. This one, as we'll come to mention in a second, is the most worthless release, not only of the DVD range, but in general, the Blu-ray, the DVD range. It is the most worthless release in my opinion. And the movie. I think one of the issues with the movie on Blu-ray is that they didn't have the original film print, so it's not as good as it could be. But anyway, onto the steelbooks. Galaxy 4. The only issue I have with this release on a consumer front is white on orange. I'm colourblind. It's not I see the world in black and white in terms of colour, but some things blend, and that just looks particularly ugly to me. I was not a big fan. And annoyingly, the lighting in my room, I don't often see Doctor Who. I just see Galaxy 4. I'm thinking, oh, it's a bit annoying. The Power of the Daleks. This is actually what inspired me to get the classic series on Blu-ray. This was my first release. I got it in the CEX for like £42. Obviously a bit of wear and tear, you might be able to see there. But even before Galaxy 4 came out, I decided I was going to fix the spine. So I got a spine magnet. I will, you could see there. I will link the shop in the description below, because I would recommend checking it out if you have the same OCD issue as myself. But yeah, that's the only release that's a double play, so it has the DVDs in it. But do they even do double plays anymore? Important question, I suppose, as the consumer. The Macra Terror. One thing I'm not a big fan of with Doctor Who specifically, as is my main collection stuff, is that this one has an exclusive disc. This has a disc that the standard edition and the DVD does not have, which, it's only a minute thing. It's Gridlock, Series 3, Episode 3, and a documentary. I don't know why they did an exclusive disc for this one and then never repeat the practice again, or they did do it beforehand. So, the Faceless Ones. One thing I do like about this one is the double... I'm not sure how I honestly feel about it actually, but the double-sided, so you can have it like that, travel our way and travel your way, but I'm going to leave it like that for obvious reasons. Then we have The Evil of the Daleks. I love this artwork. I have to say, this is a great piece of artwork. Lovely seeing the Emperor of the Daleks. Or, as Fraser Hines commented, because of these, that's the Empress of the Daleks. Also, isn't it nice that because of the BBC America releases, for all the faults I do have of them, trust me, I have many, that we have basically got the majority of Season 4 out now, despite us not a single story surviving in its entirety. Anyway, The Abominable Snowman. This is obviously so far the latest released in the animation line. It's not the last. It was reported to be the last, but allegedly there's going to be more this year. The Web of Fear. This, in my opinion, is one of the most lackluster, be careful what you wish for releases there is, really, because the episode 3 animation, it goes the same for the DVD as well, of course, is honestly terrible. Then we have Fury from the Deep. This was the first one I got day in with the DVD. Macra Terror and Faceless Ones, I initially bought those as solely as DVDs. But then I decided once I got Power of the Dalek Special Edition to get the steelbooks. I managed to get them actually really cheap. This one I got for just below retail by about £3, whilst this one I had to pay about £6 more than retail, so it was not too big an issue, even with my no income. Anyway, Spearhead from Space. This is one of the most expensive and rare items in my collection, and I've just dropped the camera. Mainly because I paid £120 for this, not including the £5 for the spine magnet. I'll get into those in a second. But the reason for that is, on eBay, there were, at the time, there were 3 listings. One for £250, this one for £120, and one for £90, but that was using a stock image, and I didn't trust it. Also, if I'm just going to pull the spine magnet away, so you can see there that the logos didn't even line up on those. Then we have Sharda. This was one that I managed to get cheap. The reason behind that is, at the time I was initially looking for it, this was about £90 to £100. Something I couldn't justify at the time, as I wasn't earning a lot in comparison to what I could spend. And what happened was the Season 17 box set got announced, which everyone panicked because everything that was on this steelbook, including the exclusive disc that's not on that Sharda, is in the Season 17 boxes. So people panicked for, oh god, we need to sell these now. So the price of this dropped from the 90 to 100 range to the 50 to 60 range. So I picked it up at £60. And during that 36-hour window, people then suddenly realised, hang on a minute, these are actually collectible packaging. Why don't we need to sell it as a high price? And there's the original logo. The reason I've just gone for getting the Jodie Whittaker logo ones on these is I don't mind these logos. I honestly kind of like it, and it's just easier to get those 3 spines than having to get spines to match them all up. That was just the easier one. And if I go back to these two, so the standard editions of Sharda and Spearhead from Space, I got those because I thought it was going to be a long time before I got the steelbooks, which it was. But by the time I eventually got to watching these in my watch through, I'm actually only on Season 8 as it stands. I had the steelbook, so these two just sit in my collection. I'm not going to get rid of them. They're just sitting there to fill up the shelf space. Really, I've got enough to not have to worry. For the most part, I want to say I'm definitely running out of space in some areas. The first Blu-ray steelbook of Dalek Invasion Earth 2150 AD. If you recall in my previous video, this was actually one of the things that took forever to arrive, which I wasn't particularly happy about. It's arrived in fine condition, obviously, but at the same time, I'm just annoyed that it took forever. Also, I'm not happy with the J card. I am considering getting spine magnets made for those, because the shop that I'm going to link does custom ones, so I'm going to consider having these ones made. And it's annoying to get these lined up, I swear. The recent 4K release of Doctor Who and the Daleks. I happen to like, if I pull out the next one, obviously, the recent Blu-ray 4K steelbook of Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD, or Daleks Invasion Earth : 2150 AD. I like the symmetry between the two sets, both the red and the blue. And now to get these back in, I suppose that's going to be a little difficult. And if we move along, we have the collector's box set of Doctor Who and the Daleks. Initially, I was just going to get the steelbooks. However, I looked at the contents of the packaging and the packet, itself, and I thought, you know what? I'll get the box sets, which meant I spent 160 quid for 2 films. But it's worth it, in my opinion. I love these films. So obviously we also have Dalek Invasion Earth 2150 AD, perhaps Dalek's Dash Invasion Earth 2150 AD. But yeah, like, the nice little sets. These definitely put the steelbooks to shame, but I got the steelbooks for the sake of consistency. Ignore what's there, that's just not important. And now we get into the real meat of the video, the collection box sets. Obviously, immediately you can tell I prefer the limited edition sets over the standard editions. The main reason for this isn't actually anything to do with the booklets, which the limited edition sets have more detailed booklets. It's the packaging. That's what I prefer. It looks, in my opinion, so much nicer and is more unique. So anyway, the most recent release, Season 2. I've not watched this yet because, like I said, I'm on Season 8. But at the same time, I do know some things about this set. The first issue I have is The Crusade reconstruction, not an animation. And if you want to see an official BBC reconstruction of it, it's limited to this set. There's no DVD, so effectively that market is getting a little screwed. And the next is that there's no credit for Peter Purves on the back. He is in 6 episodes of this season. I admit that's not a lot, but that's 2 stories. So, yeah, I wish that he was credited on the back. They've credited other actors for much less in these sets. So, yeah, that's like the only 1960s season so far. I think if I was to choose the next one, I would probably go for... Oh, I'd have to say, given it's the 60th, probably Season 1, but at the same time, Season 6 is the next to be nearest to completion. Then we have Season 8, obviously another lovely season. Again, these box sets are so beautiful. And again, what I mean is, see, they credit... I admit they're in all season, for the most part, but yeah, lovely to see the credits of these actors. Especially, that's what I love. They do actually go and credit, they don't just credit John Pertwee. They do credit the wide range of actors on these ones. Season 10. For the longest time, this was the most expensive set from the entire collection range. When I got this, this was a Christmas present, it was roughly about 150 quid. Now, obviously, it's only probably about £60, given that you can get the standard edition, so the limited editions are effectively worth nothing. But I'm happy that I got it at the time, because it then did blow up to like 300 quid over the next week after that Christmas. Thing is, I've only actually used Season 8's box set, because as I said, I'm watching it. Then we have Season 12. This is... Just to show off quickly, this is the first edition. Oh, a bit of dirt on the bottom there. This is the first edition of Season 12. There's actually a funny story about how I acquired this one for effectively free. I decided to start getting these box sets around November 2020. And I had some birthday money from around that time. And I decided, you know what, let's see what I can get. So I ordered Season 12 from one seller. He was selling the second edition. It was brand new and sealed. But what ended up occurring was it didn't arrive. I don't know how it didn't arrive, but it just didn't arrive. So I contacted the seller on eBay, said, listen, it hasn't arrived. Could I get a replacement? Because he had about 6. Probably fallen off the back of a lorry, if you know what I mean. And he said, okay, I'll send you another one. I did this officially through eBay's channels just to make sure I wasn't going to get screwed about. And what ended up happening was he took forever to post another copy. And when I say forever, I mean probably about 3 weeks. During that time, I'd given up hope, and I hadn't even put in something with eBay. I was like being faithful for, I'll trust the seller. And it took, by that point, eBay decided, all right, we're going to refund me. So they did. I didn't ask for this. By all means, I did not ask for this. So eBay refunded me, and then he posted it. So I ended up with 2 copies, because I'd been refunded, and I didn't realise he'd posted it until I got a notification for it, and I'd already reordered this first edition set. And needless to say, I got a second copy, which I then sold to a friend for the same price I would have paid for it, because I wasn't going to be a bit of a how would I best describe it? a awful person like that. Unfortunately, my copy is a little damaged there, if you can see. Oh well, I've got a limited edition first print season 12. Then we have season 14, and I have to say this probably my favourite artwork, because I wish Tom Baker did more stories in the Deer Stalker outfit. It is a beautiful piece of artwork, and I like how it's not the title sequence, it's more of the tunnels from the talons of Weng Chiang. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. Oh, slide that back in. Ooh, season 17. Again, liking the green on this one, but yeah, this is a nice box set. I'm surprised that's on 7 discs. Really. Obviously, this one helped me get Sharda's Steelbook cheaper, because obviously the contents are included. Again, I've not watched it, but I can't really comment on what's inside these packages for the most part, but the exterior, oh, how I love it. Then we have season 18. This one, I remember paying 70 quid, because the standard edition just been announced. Obviously, the limited edition packaging is still worth something because of the booklets. And effectively, I bought it for like 70 quid. And what was quite nice, if I open up this set, because this is one of my favourite things, and I love the seller for doing this. If I to open it, oh, if you can see here, we actually have this one of the Leisure Hive, and that's important. I keep it in here nicely. The seller also gave me, well, I'm assuming this is the faulty disc of the Leisure Hive, and that really is such a minor thing, but you know what? I love and appreciate that more than any words could possibly describe, because now I have the working disc and the faulty one. Actually, I want to check. See, oh, they credit Janet Fielding for 4 episodes. 1 story. You won't credit Peter Purvis for 6 and 2 stories. Good to know. Good to know. We're screwing over the man who not only did Doctor Who but covered it for so many years on Blue Peter. Anyway, moving on. Season 19. This one was somewhat of a bad timing purchase, because I purchased this for I think about £90 about a week before the standard editions were announced, which it dropped to 50, but I didn't care, because really I got the I managed to get it when I got it and I wanted it. Obviously that's usually how things go. Yeah, I'm upset this is the only Peter Davison release. I would like to see either season 21 or season 20. I don't know which one I prefer, because in my opinion, I'll give it a broad one. Season 20 is more on the bad side, in my humble opinion. Then we have season 22. This is quite a box set, a big meaty one. This is a nice bit of artwork of Colin. Got all the monsters on there. Strangely missing the one monster from the 1980s who turned out we all thought, well, I say we all thought, I'm pretty sure there's 1 or 2 people who thought disagreeingly about someone who was a monster. Anyway, do like this set. What I find quite interesting here is they do actually credit on the back Patrick Troughton and Fraser Hines. I'm assuming they didn't want to credit just 2 people. When the season 10 collection doesn't credit anyone beyond... Actually, who does season 10 credit, if I just have a quick browse of that? Oh, it only credits John Pertwee, Katie Manning and Nicholas Courtney. No credit for John Levine. He's in like 10 episodes that season. And William Hart and Patrick Troughton would be great to credit there. But anyway. Then we have season 23, the Trial of a Time Lord season. Effectively, in media, as in visual media format, the only season that's always been released together. I think this is actually one of the few seasons I've had in every format. I've had it in VHS, I've got it in DVD, and I've got it on Blu-ray. Yeah, who's credited this one? Just Colin, Nicola, and Bonnie Langford. How nice, how nice. Yeah, so obviously we're coming close to the end now. Here we have season 24. This one, there is another interesting story about the purchase there. I pre-ordered that from Amazon the day it was announced. Amazon didn't ship it. Now bear in mind, I have Amazon Prime. I've had that for years now. And it didn't get shipped, so I thought, okay, that's annoying. The money didn't get taken out of my account, so I decided to cancel it. I thought, okay, because I found a copy in my local Argos. I managed to reserve that within the day. I went to pick it up, and they asked me for ID. At the time, I was 21, I believe. Was I 21? I was 21 at the time, I think. I've lost track. Yes, I was 21 at the time. Oh, hang on. No, I've lost track entirely. I don't know how old I was. Ignore that little rant. And there's that. So they said, do you have ID? And at the time, I didn't have ID, and I thought, really? ID? And someone said, well, it's a 12. Why are you IDing him? So obviously someone that day had gone mad with power. Their name was probably John Nathan Turner, or something of some description. And finally, we have season 26. Oh, nearly dropped it there. That wasn't bad. Yeah, the final season. I'm not sure how I feel about the green there. That's not something I'm too keen. I think the third credit on this one is... No, oh, this actually only credited 2 people. I guess I was wrong about the whole... They didn't want to credit 2 people. Yeah, overall, I want to say I have spent so much money on all these Blu-rays. Because like I said, the Steelbook of Spearhead from Space set me back a lot of money. Had I paid for that one when I got it, that would have set me back a lot of money. That would have been the single most biggest purchase for a single item, in my opinion. But yeah, so overall, I'm happy with this little collection. I hope you've enjoyed watching this little video. I hope to get something different out soon. If not, I do apologise. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you've all enjoyed it.